Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Ian Hink.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Hecka.
And Brandon Jones.
Greetings.
Ian Hink, what is your goal this week?
I want to make a metaphor using a character from the Stormlight Archive series.
Whoa. I already tell you I won't understand your metaphor.
Yeah, no, you won't.
Okay. Ben, what is your goal this week?
My favorite goal was the animal one that we did, so I think I'm going to try to secretly reveal a story about my past without you all realizing it.
That it's the goal.
That's my goal.
We have a rule about side stories. You only get 3.
You only get 3?
Yeah, you only get 3
rule
sides.
for everybody now?
Yeah. Blood.
Do I gotta
Blood tried to do some side stories last week.
Do I gotta think of a new goal?
No. But
Okay.
it'll just have to be one of 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
But this is one of 3. Like I haven't already cashed in.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You haven't cashed in any
All
of
right.
them.
All right. Cool.
Per episode.
Per episode, right?
Right, yeah, it's fine.
Jones, what's your goal this week?
My goal is to nail podcast halftime. We have
To
several
nail it.
new
That's
sponsors.
a good goal. I like the
Okay.
simplicity of it.
Some tricky linguistics to handle here.
Tricky linguistics.
I make no promises, but it's a goal.
See, that's like an actual goal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sometimes we do actual
Performance
goals.
goal.
Actual.
My actual goal is to nail the intro to Ore Wars this week.
Got some
Good luck,
caught
man.
some heat on that.
Yeah, I got some heat for last week, so yeah, I'm gonna try to do a little better this time. It is now time for corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Darth Vader pilots Jones
The TIE Advanced.
X1, but good.
X1 specifically.
Yeah, X specifically that.
Xbox One.
Yeah. TIE Advanced. Now we know. We know.
Hopefully.
I have that
Get in
TIE
my
Advanced
head.
in X-Wing miniatures.
Really?
Yeah.
I should give credit. I didn't give proper credit last week. Infinite Content is a song from one of my favorite bands ever, the All American Rejects. Schlecht Junge is a phrase that I used last week, which was it was made in
Terrible children?
yeah,
Dirty
like bad boy for
Yeah.
bad boy. And like that was the joke. I didn't want it corrected, but the truth is way funnier. Bosa Booba.
It's the actual word for it.
Is bad boy. Oh, Bosa Booba.
That's Brad, all right.
Du bist ein Bosa Booba.
9-9, Bosa Booba. You Bosa Booba.
You Bosa Booba.
Das ist gut.
Sean asked me, we talked about Sean last week. I guess he's canon now. Sean is Jones's trainer.
Yeah.
German efficiency. He's a German man. He asked me why I make fun of Germans. It's just such a funny language. It's nothing to do with the ethnicity or where they are. It's just such a funny language.
It's a fun language.
Bosa Booba.
I think booba is funny.
Yeah.
Booba is
regardless of
funny.
language.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much. End corrections music. Do you all know my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcement.
A game announcement. This week,
I've been on this show before.
Jones has been here before. This week, Mega Man 11 was announced. You know what? I should, as podcast moderator, I should explain that you may be watching this after the Game Awards. You may be watching this after PSX.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, wait, why are they only talking about Mega Man? We recorded this on Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, baby.
Because we needed to record it immediately after Mega Man. We all decided, that's probably
Yeah,
going to
so
be the
reason why.
biggest news of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not gonna get bigger.
Game Awards is DLC only. PSX is
Remakes
microtransactions only.
Oh,
Yeah. And so it's just no big announcements from those two things. If you are writing the comment, why didn't they wait until after PSX to record the podcast? We have something for you. We have live reactions. You can go watch those. We react live. We give our opinions live. Those
Also,
exist.
We did wait, because next Tuesday there's one of these.
Yeah, and there's one of these next Tuesday. Yeah.
I really want to see a PlayStation blog post. Hey, just to let you guys know, this next one that we're doing, this PSX, is just microtransactions. And then you scroll down and you just see, yes! yes!
Please. Will some be free? Why
Can I use in-game cards?
I can play as Go-Go! Yes!
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whoever that guy is, I like that guy.
Be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
hard is it to be enthusic? Just try.
In the gaming age that we live in,
Yeah,
not
it's
that
hard.
hard.
Just try. So anyway, Mega Man 11 is our big news for this podcast in particular, which is still huge. That's still a huge deal.
7 years, man.
It's
It's
one
been
more than
7
10.
years. Hey, what's Mega Man crossover? What is that? Was that the weird thing with Street Fighter characters?
I saw that in the
That's
trailer.
that's
I don't know
yeah.
what that is.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I think that's what that was.
yeah.
That doesn't count.
No.
So let's talk about Mega Man 11. What did we see? What did we see earlier today? That was Monday. What did we see earlier on Monday?
It looks different.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, it's got like a 2.5D situation with some cell shading in the foregrounds and some CG elements. It's all computerized 3D graphics instead of pixel art.
I'd reckon it's always 3D graphics.
Well, yeah, but the front, it looks cell
or
shaded.
computerized
but, you know,
graphics. Yeah.
They're always computers. But
Yeah. It's a new look for Mega Man,
It looks cool.
which was really what they were selling the most, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're looking at polygons here. This is a Mega Man game. Mega Man 11. It's a direct sequel.
number.
Yeah.
I think it needed to look dramatically different, and so while it took me a little while to warm up to the new style, I'm very glad that they went this direction.
So Ben, I see a lot of comments that aren't looking liking how this game's looking.
Yeah,
What-
that doesn't
what's that
surprise
about?
me.
What's going on?
Well, it's been a long time since Mega Man has come back
Yeah.
in this way, and I think there are a lot of people attached to different eras of Mega Man, rightfully so. There are a lot of good eras of Mega Man, and so I think when you've been waiting for so long and it doesn't look exactly how you want it to look, of course it's going to disappoint you. I think regardless of what they chose, people would be disappointed. I think if they went back to 8-bit, people would be disappointed.
I'd be disappointed.
I think maybe, I guess, the only one that I could see not disappointing anybody is if it looked like SNES X.
Yeah, I was gonna say X.
Or PS1 X games. I think that's pretty universally loved. But
Well, here's what I want to dig into. This is a comment I made during Secret of Mana, and I thought about it a lot since then, where I thought the right amount of budget was given to the Secret of Mana remake. And Jones, when I look at Mega Man 11, I do see a tighter budget. This is a game from Capcom. Capcom is making this game internally, but it's still not a huge budget game, right? It's still not wowing us in a way that most games would with big budgets, whatever. What am I saying? But Jones, what I want to ask you is this the right budget for Mega Man 11?
Sure, it definitely doesn't look like they want to show the new style in action, and I think they've definitely focused on that. We've seen, from what I've seen, they've released also pictures of the design of the conceptual process of creating.
Oh,
this
the
new
character
Mega
art
Man.
is great.
Yeah. And so when I look at this trailer, the trailer seems to show off mostly gameplay. It's like, the slide is in it. He
Right.
brings in the dog's name is escaping me.
Rush.
Rush brings in Rush, jumps up to get the energy from thanks to Rush there. Shows off one new suit. Doesn't show off too much stuff, but shows off a new ability.
We should stop there actually, because
Dropping
that's,
the
brick.
that's kind of
blocks
a
down.
headline, is that Mega Man's got suits now.
yes,
When you absorb when you have a new ability, it's a suit. It changes your blaster and it changes your head.
yeah,
Helmet. It's cool.
it is very cool.
Apparently that was an original concept of Mega Man. They always wanted that back in the day, but
Whoa.
all they could do was color swaps.
And am I tripping that a
30
fan
years.
created that, or that was based on a fan design?
You are tripping, but you're onto something,
Okay.
Jones, because we've talked about this before. The concept art for the character we saw in this trailer, who can drop blocks, was hidden inside of Mega Man Collection 2. When you go to the concept art for older games,
Oh,
the concept art for this game was hidden inside, and a lot of people said,
Whoa.
"Hey, what's this for? Is this a new Mega Man game?" And some of us believed, some of
which
us said,
game?
"For this game right here, for Mega Man 11."
Hidden in which game?
Oh,
Legacy Collection 2.
yeah, but I think you had to go
Oh,
to 8.
Long time ago.
I don't know.
I think it was hidden within
Yeah,
8.
I don't know which-
where it would
which
be
of
the
the
least
four it is,
conspicuous.
but-
Yeah.
Wow.
And so yeah, Jones, and actually, what's strange is in the presentation they kind of owned up to it, and they said that was an Easter egg. That was intentional.
cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Oh, me too. That's like Batman. That's cool.
Kyle, you talk about budget,
Yes.
and I can see the argument of, well, it's taken you so long to, bring back Mega Man. Why didn't you make this bigger? Why didn't you make this more extravagant? And I actually think that in a weird, and maybe not dangerous, maybe dangerous is too hyperbolic of language, but I've just seen so many franchises fall because they don't do what's right for the franchise. They feel like they have to just go big, and that going big is more important than what the franchise actually needs.
Yes.
And I think that's really dangerous. And what I'm seeing like that whole presentation, and then in the trailer itself, it feels like this is exactly the right scope for right now. And I think that's
It looks
super
like
important.
it looks like it feels like Mega Man too.
Yeah.
which is the most important thing I think. And I was thinking, my first reaction was it felt kind of like Bloodstained did, jumping from Symphony of the Night into this weird, like gross CG nastiness. And Bloodstained, I really didn't like the look until I played it, and then I was like, okay, it looks better now, like whatever. This one I think looks better than that did in the trailer. I thought it showed better than Bloodstained.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree that it looks better than Bloodstained. I should have added some more details. This is coming late 2018.
Yeah.
2, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Nice.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely coming out in 2019.
All the next gen consoles, they called it. Different 28. No. 2018. It's got to make late 2018. It's got to make that.
If you're
right?
saying late a thing,
Yeah.
you know it's getting delayed.
I don't know. They seem to really be getting behind this big Mega Man anniversary,
Yeah.
and so releasing a bunch of things leading up to a brand new Mega Man game, I think makes a lot of sense, just momentum wise.
Yeah.
I think it'll hit.
I forgot it's Capcom. Like, they were actually really good at hitting their dates, I think, right?
They are.
Like,
They're good
with
at announcing
Resident
and
Evil and
releasing,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Capcom. I forgot.
Yeah, they got this. I mean, Monster Hunter World is another one that's going to be a tight between less
I'm
than a year.
excited.
Yeah. Oh, we're not talking about that right now, though. This is a news-only
Weekly hunts.
podcast.
Kyle, I do have two concerns.
Look, bring it on. Bring them on.
They're relatively minor because I just last night I finished Mega Man 9. It was the first time I'd finished Mega
Last
Man 9.
night?
Whoa.
Yeah, last
Wow.
night.
Because of this thing kind of
No,
drove you
well,
to?
no, I'd started 9 earlier. We actually talked about it on the last Frame Trap.
Oh, okay.
And then I finally finished it, and
Just an
that Wily
amazing
Castle,
coincidence.
was a pain in the butt. But 9 is a difficult game. It was difficult in a way that I appreciated, but just kind of going through the internet and reading comments and stuff, people thought it was like too hard, and so I wonder where they'll fall with Mega Man 11. I'm really worried about the difficulty because if it's too easy, that's going to upset a lot of people, and if it's too difficult, you're going to have a lot of people who are hopping into Mega Man for the first time, or for a lot of people, this will probably be their first impression of Mega Man, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, but I think that's true.
Ben, keep your second thing in mind, because I got some good news for you.
Yeah.
Mega Man 11 has 4 difficulty modes.
I did not know this.
Yes. We have Newcomer, Casual, Normal, and I think the last one's called Nightmare. Ooh, I can't remember the 4th, but
What
a
a
very
jump.
hard mode. Yeah.
I like how it's like easy,
Yeah,
normal, super hard.
So this is from the Game Informer article.
Okay.
Game Informer's got the scoop. They
That
got
cover, by
Yeah,
the way.
they have the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game Informer's all over this. So apparently they just add more platforms to make it easier, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they did a similar thing like that in Mega Man 10, where you could do like an easy option. It would put like platforms over the spikes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So I love that. I
Yeah.
love that they hear that concern and they're aware of it and they're going for it.
The second concern I have
Yes.
is, and you can hear it in the trailer, is when Mega Man is doing his charge shot, you hear his voice. Mm-hmm. And it's a different kind of voice than what I'm used to. And I'm not saying that like this is the de facto Mega Man voice, but like I'm playing Mega Man 8 right now. Like I went from 9, then I'm going into 8. And when I think of classic Mega Man, I really kind of think of that like young, peppy kid. And hearing this is a little bit different. And I'm worried about that voice. And maybe I shouldn't be. But
I guess here's
He's
my
like old Snake now.
here's my impression of it is kind of like, yeah. Every time he does a charge shot. Here's the one thing I would request is like just record some alternates and throw them all in.
Right.
Pep it up.
Yeah.
Like a yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that's Link, I guess.
That's good though.
Yeah.
That was Link.
Link's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. We're gonna be shooting a lot of charge shots. It can't be the same yeah every charge shot.
Sure.
Just
Please.
use the Capcom. Just take those.
Just take a few of these.
Chuck
all
them
right,
in
all
there.
right, we'll give it. We'll do a round. Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jones.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that should be it. We're good.
Capcom, take those.
Take those.
Free of
Just throw them
charge.
in. Yeah,
Pepper it
free
in
of
there.
charge. We're here to help. Go ahead, Ben.
Sorry, I just like apparently during the live stream they were talking about how they wanted like this is part of the like getting new suits for Mega Man, they want to have those new powers feel more consequential, like a bigger deal. And I think that is so awesome. And it's actually something they do in 9 really, really well, having just played through it. Like there are so many creative ways that you can apply those powers, and to me, like thinking about main series Mega Man, that's a lot of the magic right there. When you have that moment where you're getting stuck and you're like, can I use this power in that way? And then you do it and it works, and you have that little bit of a mind explosion, and it's so cool.
Yeah, my least favorite implementation is it's just good against this one boss.
Right. And that definitely happens sometimes in Mega Man, where it's just like you get a power and either like your buster is so good or there aren't enough applications for the power that you just forget that you have it. So I hope that doesn't happen.
That's like in Zelda when you're suddenly like, I can freeze water and make platforms for myself.
Right.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jones, let's talk biz. Was this the right way to reveal this game?
Yeah, I had not seen. I saw the trailer that goes straight into gameplay from 11. I had not seen the journey through the history of Mega Man. I love that stuff.
Okay.
That was a 4.5-minute trailer, so that definitely. I thought the trailer, when we saw the gameplay, I thought when the logo reveal, the energy kind of died off a little bit. But I thought I think it's smart also, not only the way that they announced it with the trailer, but the fact that this is currently the 30th anniversary of Mega Man, but this game's not coming out until the 31st anniversary of Mega Man. So I think it's smart, get that announcement out now, be realistic with the release date, let people know. It's like, oh, we're not just going to say 2018, then you got to wait. It's like, we're probably not going to have this done until after the summer. So I think they were just very upfront about it. I think it had a great attitude. I think it really showcased what that game was and didn't necessarily say this is something you should be excited about. I think that they got to know, people are going to have some issues coming into it, but I thought it did a good job. That's selling the character. Once it actually got into gameplay, there are no more gimmicks in the trailer. They were like, there we go. Now once it actually got into
That's what I liked
footage.
about it, is it felt like a celebration of Mega Man instead of like up its own butt, kind of like, oh my god, Mega Man is so great. We know you're excited. It's like other people, like, I've seen trailers that are leaning on that kind of. And this was just like, hey, Mega Man.
Or those trailers where they're they don't really acknowledge the history of the series.
Right.
They're just like, this is what Mega Man is now. And I like that they're like, no, you know what this is. Here you go. Something I'm worried about with Mega Man 11, like really thinking about it, is I feel like Mega Man has never really had a great cadence, where I feel like in different chunks of years, they're like, we're going this direction with Mega Man, and we're not going like any other direction. Like we're doing this spin-off, or we're doing this throwback, and then we're not doing anything else. And there's a lot of Mega Man. Like there's so many different styles of Mega Man games. And I think the momentum they've kind of built up with the Legacy collections, which I think are both really, really good, and now this, like I hope they kind of fill this whole take a break, go over here, do some stuff with X, go over here, doing some stuff with Battle Network. Like I think that would be really cool. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe going in too many different directions is a mistake. But a lot of people are attached to many different parts of Mega Man, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think we should also mention those collections because we have some news about those as well. Mega Man Collection 1, Mega Man Collection 2 will be available for the Nintendo Switch this year. Kind of crazy it wasn't already. That's kind of like a no-brainer announcement. Just like, okay, great. The other announcement's kind of weird. Mega Man X, all 8 Mega Man X games will be available on the PC, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Switch in the summer of 2018. Not necessarily as a collection. It's weird. They won't say Mega Man X Collection. It's kind of weird. They just say all those games will be on those consoles in summer of 2018. So we don't know. We don't know if that's a collection or not, but we do know that we'll be able to play all the X.
Maybe they want to do a collection. That's the plan right now. They just haven't inked it. They just haven't really solidified like what it's called or what'll be in there. And
that's a decent theory, Jones.
so they don't want to play up expectations.
Because the complicated thing with that is that 7 and 8 are PS2 games.
Only.
Yeah. So they got those 3D graphics.
Switch can't handle that.
Just took the worst.
Well, the thing is, like, with Mega Man Collection, it's just like the best, most pristine possible looking thing, like way this could possibly look. That's much harder to do with PS2 games. You know what I mean? You can't like optimize it in as much ways. And so I wonder if there's that appeal that you can apply that appeal to those.
If I was the man in the suit and just thinking about it, like, because I always think it's important to think about like what the response is going to be.
Yeah, let's get in those seats.
I could see a reasonable backlash if it wasn't a collection for a number of reasons. Because I just checked before we did this podcast. You can get the Mega Man X collection, which includes most of the Mega Man X games you probably care about, X1 through X6, for $15 on PS2. You may not have a PS2, which is a reasonable argument.
Yeah.
But then you can go, well, you know, they've done so much with the core Mega Man series. They came out with these really nice collections where you can go and you can look at the art. It's got all the DLC that came out for like 9 and 10. You can go through and listen to all the music. And then X, which a lot of people care about, if you don't give it the same attention, like, wouldn't that make you kind of mad as a big X fan? Like, at this point, haven't you set yourself up for all those bells and whistles? Like, if you're going to do it right.
They're going to do all those bells and whistles, but then charge me separately for each one.
I mean, I was going to say, do you think they'll do it like the Neo Geo games where it's like $7 a piece or something?
Yeah.
But Capcom is a company that's pissed so many people off, like, the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, why? This is an easy win.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Just don't do it. Because the funny thing is, you're right. Nobody cares about 7 and 8. They're going to be the most costly to add to this collection.
Right.
And nobody wants them. They're the two stinkers. Apparently 6 also isn't very good, but I don't know.
I've not played 8. I had a friend who is really into 8, and I've seen online that like 8 is good. Like, I know everybody universally hates 7, but a lot of people were defending X8. So.
Okay.
But see, that's why I want the collection. I want it all right there. Maybe I want to give X8 some love. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But apparently the story ends after X5. Like, that's the kind of like, it's just really sunset. It's like, okay, and then they all lived happily ever after, and then like X6 is like, oh, X more problems. You know, it's like, okay, all right, let's go. Let's do this. 6 is like, hey, I'm Axel. It's like, oh, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. It's cool. What's up, James?
I really like the moment in the trailer where he runs past all the empty years.
Yeah.
Yes.
That to me is incredibly self-aware, incredibly brave for Capcom. I just wish more people did something like that. Where like, well, you know, it's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, and typically when you want to do, a lot of people will have dates if they want to go back and do like, it's been 10 years, 30 years, 40 years, and run through those things faster, and the pace tends to pick up as you get closer to present day, where they really spent a lot of attention for that first game, and then the next games, then some of the later stuff, then it got really confusing, and today, you know, to kind of like rush past maybe some things that were iffy or some stuff that they released lately that they didn't like. And so it would have been very easy for him to just get on like a jump pad or a boost pad and just like whiz, you know, just like in those crazy years. But anyway, moving on, and just like opening the door and having 2016 and 2017 in there with nothing. Like, I just thought it spent a lot of time showcasing that.
That's a good point, Jones.
I thought that was very upfront. I dug it.
Yeah, it's almost intentional in its pacing. Like, it would have been funnier for him to get on a jetpack and blast forward, but in terms of showing how big of a deal this is, it's I get that. That's actually really interesting.
He kind of looks like Mega Man's like frustrated, you know, kind of looks like he gets in that room like, there's got to be something in here, right? Even kind of pauses and like when he sees the question mark before he jumps in. And I don't get the vibe when he leaves and comes back in that when you see the new gameplay from 11, it's not like, see, he's perfect now. It's like, no, this is just 11. You know, this is just a new version of this. I don't get the vibe that it's like, you know, oof, that old 8-bit version, but hey, it looks so much better.
Yeah.
Mega Man's a lot like Kaladin. He like starts off rough and then goes through all these weird time periods and things are slowed down for a little while, and then he comes out a whole new person.
It's true.
Tell me that's
great.
good, though. Tell me that's a good analogy.
Oh, it's great.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not stretching.
Nope, that was actually a very good analogy.
Okay, great.
There are a lot of times when it comes to video games that I wish like immediately there was a book of what happened so you could read about it, because if you think about like this revival, it's so bizarre. You think about like the recent like Sonic Mania retro revival, and I feel like you can kind of piece that together. Where
Easily, yes.
They were, you know, experimenting with Sonic 4, and then, you know, they had the classic stuff in Sonic Generations. It felt like they were like actively trying to figure out how to do that classic style again, and then Sonic Mania was kind of the culmination about that. Whereas you look at Mega Man, and you've got 9 and you've got 10, which were well received, and then it just dropped off the face of the earth. Like, it just looks so obviously like bad blood with Inafune.
Yes.
And you want to see those conversations. Did pitches come up? And they're like, no. Like, we need to send a message. Like, I want to know what was happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
And
10
I wonder.
was well received? They like 10?
Yeah, I mean, just critically, 9 and 10 were very well received.
I thought I remembered one of them people didn't like.
I think 10 was just flat.
Oh, okay.
You know, 10, like 9 was like, oh man, I can't believe they're doing this, and 10's like, oh, they're doing it again.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I think
they were like, oh, okay, yeah, great. It's like 9.
Ben, do you think it's bad blood that they're bringing it back? Do you think that's like, oh, Mighty Number 9, how quaint?
I mean,
here's how you do
wouldn't
it.
that be amazing?
Yeah.
That like this happened because it's like putting salt in the wound of Mighty Number 9.
Capcom knows about Mighty Number 9.
Right. Yeah.
Probably heard
They
it.
know
Did someone
about it.
tell them?
Like they just lifted the gate after they saw Mighty Number 9 crash and burn. Like that's oh my god.
Well, I wonder if they saw it after it got the Kickstarter, after they got the success. They're like, oh, we should do this. We should bring Mega Man back.
We've got the real thing. We should probably kick one out.
Kick one out.
I did not really pay attention to the evolution. I know Mighty Number 9 like looked okay for a second, then looked bad, or vice versa.
Never looked okay.
Saw some people on social media saying this looks exactly like Mighty Number 9. I'm not into this. What does this panel have to say to that? I mean, were you nervous right away? Were you like, or did you fall in love with it like the first frame that you saw, or did it take a sec?
I honestly, Jones,
I think you said something to that effect too.
That was my initial like reaction when I very first saw it. I was like, oh, like kind of like Mighty Number 9. But I think the more that you look at it, in my opinion, it looks better than Mighty Number 9. Like if you put it side by side, there's way more going on in the Mega Man 11 trailer. It looks more put together. It looks more detailed than anything that I saw in Mighty Number 9.
I didn't like it at first, and then 2 or 3 shots in, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. It just took my brain a second to be like, new art style, okay.
Yeah.
If I can think of the most recent example of a game that I've been immediately in on, it was Super Mario Odyssey. It was a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was their presentation a year ago, just Mario popping out of a manhole, and I was immediately mind blown. And you're right, that wasn't there with this game. It doesn't have that effect on you.
But I did think about Mario in that like we're never, certainly there's some Mario games that we appreciate more than others, that some people have different favorites, of course. But has Mario himself ever been criticized style-wise?
Yes.
Like when Sunshine came out, we're like, that's what you call Mario?
There's
like,
that
was that a
weird
thing?
like
Yeah.
2D papery 3D combo one from like 2 years ago that everyone thought looked like garbage and
Talking
it just
about-
never happened. Or like it came out but no one played it.
Mario?
You're talking
Yeah.
about
Super
Paper
Mario?
Jam, where it was like
Yeah,
Mario and
Paper
Luigi
Jam.
and Paper Mario matched together.
Yeah. Everyone was like, ugh.
Came out.
I thought that game looked fine.
In the moment, during the E3 reactions, I remember us being like, ugh.
Huh. Oh, maybe you're thinking of Color Splash?
Color Splash looks great.
Super
I think
Star
I
Saga,
also
one of
think
those
Color
maybe?
Splash
I think it
looks
was in
great.
Easy Allies era, but whatever.
I would say the new Super Mario Bros. Get criticized the hardest for their style.
Okay.
Ooh,
All
yeah.
right.
I think
I am familiar
think
with that.
those
I
get us
hear
off
this with Mega Man and Sonic all the time. Where
Oh,
we're
for
like,
sure.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like constantly being revamped.
Mario's got it easy.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just another thing I was thinking about. I think a lot of what makes Sonic Mania not only successful, but to kind of receive the booming success that it did is like how surprising that game is. Like, yes, you are going through old stages, but those old stages are remixed. Here are entirely new things. Here are entirely new stages. Here are entirely new bosses. And yes, Mega Man 11 is all new, but I have to wonder will this initial excitement fade if we're like, yes, it is another Mega Man game and it's good. Is another good Mega Man game enough, or does it have to be surprising? Does there have to be some special factor there?
So let me tell you a couple more details about the game. Again, there will be 8 robot masters and 8 levels, and you choose the order in which you play those levels. So, like, to me, that's kind of like, okay,
Right.
all right, we done that.
Yeah.
Dude, what if they do a whole other 8 after that?
There,
Upside
yes.
down castle, baby.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Boom.
Yeah. I also like it when they interrupt, like you do a couple, and then I guess it's more of an X thing, and it's like, oh, you need to go do this thing right now.
Yeah.
It's like all of their spouses coming back for revenge
Whose spouses?
of all the robot
Masters.
masters.
Oh, like Bubble Man has a Bubble Woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like
sure.
their kids are like, you left me an orphan.
Yeah.
And then there's not like a fight. You just have to like care for these children for like 10 hours.
How are Reploid babies made? How do they do this?
Well, you see, when a robot loves another robot,
Is this real, though? Do you think
they
that's
go
how...
to the factory and they order a child. And then the child is produced for them.
The robots are allowed to order more robots?
Yeah, it's the future. It's the year 20XX.
We're
Kyle.
getting into some Blade Runner stuff right here.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if they'd let a replicant buy a replicant. I don't think so.
You can't, no. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point is you can't.
Yeah.
I had... I want to talk... I want to talk about 16 by 9 and 4 by 3. I want to talk about...
Oh.
I think Mega Man works better in 4 by 3.
We're 10 and 9?
Is there Is there something
Yes.
specifically
No,
about
maybe not.
Mega Man that you think like it should be in 4x3?
I don't think he fills in the space. I think he's small. I think
Makes
when we watch the trailer, I think he's small on the screen, and I think he just the space of 16:9 isn't utilized well.
Yeah, I get that because like thinking about Sonic, right? When you start a stage, it is like you're flowing through the stage, whereas Mega Man, like if you think about classic Mega Man, you are going screen by screen. It is
Yeah.
this box.
Yeah.
So on some level, I can totally see what you're saying.
When I think of a game that really utilizes the full screen well, I mean, it's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, but it just seems designed the whole time like we're gonna fill the space. We're gonna each of these levels is going to fill your screen and give you interesting things to move. And he's just
I don't know. There's a moment in the
very
trailer when
horizontal
you
guy.
think he's gonna go through that door, and then he drops straight down into what I hope is a secret and not a death pit. I think that in 16:9 there's more room for that kind of stuff, seeing secrets and stuff.
sure. Yeah. I just. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have that feeling. It's weird.
Maybe they have an option.
I think refining the space for Mega Man benefits him. I really do. I just think I think this for a lot of games, honestly, that were almost better in 16:9.
4x3. You mean?
4x3. I do.
It's more difficult too because you have less time to react to something coming on screen. If it's
Well-
coming at you.
I mean, you think about they really took that screen by screen advantage because if you think about classic Mega Man, it really is this screen right here is this one specific challenge. Once you do that, we're going on to the next challenge. These challenges are not necessarily connected in any way. Like it's really one piece at a time. Not that isn't connected in some ways. Like you've got like the disappearing blocks and stuff like that. You do have instances of that, but I don't know. You know, you brought up Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and I was like, I'm excited about this new Mega Man, and I want to be optimistic, but if Retro was making it,
Yeah.
I would have no doubt.
Yeah, and I guess to go back to like, does it have the right budget? It's a lower budget than Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
It's
Do
not.
you know the budget, or are you just looking at it?
They at the end of the thing they said we spent $10,000 on this.
They did?
No.
It's like $10,000 is nothing.
I know. It's like
I was
wait,
like, what?
let us give you more.
This game is amazing for $10,000.
No, but it does. You can sniff it. You can smell it. I mean, maybe it'll have like cutscenes or something.
Well, and I wonder how early in development it is too, because like Mega Man's animations looked a little weird.
they could use some
They
improvement.
looked a little framey or something to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, he looked early. The levels looked okay.
Yeah.
I thought, but Mega Man himself looked early.
I think it's staged for success. I think that at the amount of money they spent on it, he can succeed. I think even a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze budget, I'm worried about him. I'm worried about him breaking even. You know.
I think that's a smart move, especially with Capcom, because there were like rumors of their financial troubles that maybe aren't real.
that turned out to just be somebody's article.
That was just somebody.
Apparently,
okay.
they've been for sale for a long time.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can buy them today if we want to, but nobody
Let's
wants to.
do it.
No, it's not a good proposition.
But I mean, like, I'm always for people doing smaller budget things and then making their money back.
Yeah.
By selling it to the people who just want it. Mm-hmm. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
I want to believe in the philosophy of ups and downs. Like, Resident Evil 6 is a game that when I finished it, I was angry. Like, there are games that I don't like, but very rarely do I have, like, a personal vendetta about a game. Like, there were just so many moments in Resident Evil 6 where I was just physically upset. Like, I was livid. And when Resident Evil 7 was announced, because of that prior experience, it was hard to be optimistic. But they did it. Like, they brought back Resident Evil 7
Yeah.
in a meaningful way. And I want to feel like it's Mega Man's time, that it can happen, that they know what they're talking about, that they understand it and can make a good video game. I want to believe.
I think it looks like maybe they have.
I hope so.
That they
Yeah.
are.
Like, this year has been so insane
Right.
with high-quality games, and next year looks equally insane that why not? Like, why not just hope?
Yeah.
Why not hope?
We got other things to fall back on. Ni no Kuni 2 is still coming.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Weekly
Spider-Man.
hunts.
Weekly
Spider-Man.
hunts.
Weekly
Basketball
hunts.
fighters. It's like, you know what? We'll give you the hope. If it doesn't work out, I got other things to play.
Yeah.
I got other things to play. Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh.
Oh, it sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of December. Mango, Jigar Bov Productions, Ooh Ee Ooh Ah Ah Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang. And now for some long words. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Anti-disestablishmentarianism, Ultramicroscopic ciliovolcanokiniosis. Hoag Law, business law firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Rick Hoag started Hoag Law to bring more than a decade of experience to companies like yours and is proud to support the allies. Check him out at hoeglaw.com. L. Fanis. Brent Klaus. Brent Klaus is a 2D animator and illustrator specializing in motion graphics and art direction. He produces animated content for brands using bold colors, fun character animation, and will sneak in a video game reference wherever he can. You can find him and his work on Twitter at Brent Klaus. Critical Reviews. Do you enjoy podcasts about video games, movies, and TV shows? Do you like Twitch streams? Do you like reviews? Then you should watch Easy A. When you're all caught up on Easy A and still need more content, check out Critical Reviews. Everything that makes Easy A great, but on a way smaller budget. Watch Jimmy Good, Joe Lever, and Thomas Yang talk about the pop culture you care about and host Jolly Game streams. Join the Legion at Critical Reviews on YouTube, Twitch, and Patreon, and follow Go Critical on Twitter. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure currently in development at Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Sweet Justice, a sound design company based in England that's worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Injustice 2, Call of Duty, Cuphead, and a load of indies. Check out their website at www.sweetjustice.audio. iKeyless. Since 2002, iKeyless has specialized in replacement automotive keys and remotes. They can save you up to 75% off of dealerships' prices. Visit their updated website at iKeyless.com and use promo code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and an additional 17% off of your order. Ooh. Jojo Dentco, your friendly automotive dent repair expert. If you're currently an Easy A patron and are in the Denver metropolitan area, tweet at FastMower if you'd like to have your minor door dings repaired free of charge. And finally, the Cartridge Club. At its core, the Cartridge Club is like a book club for gamers. Every month, you're invited to play along at your own pace, sharing your thoughts in the forums and enjoying a wrap-up podcast with special guests selected from the community. It's a warm and welcoming place made up of content creators and gaming enthusiasts, and we want you to come and join in the fun. Head over to cartridgeclub.org to find out more. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a lot of sponsors.
Maybe too big.
Maybe too big?
Maybe just podcast halftime.
Do we have too many?
Might be out of control. We might be spiraling at this point.
All right. What I like is some of them keep it entertaining.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jigarbot, for all the stuff. He's got them all lined up. I don't know how many podcasts we're doing in December, but he's got them all lined up for December.
I'm sorry to say that it's anti-disestablishmentarianism.
I totally goofed it. Yeah, and I
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes.
I don't know that third one.
Yeah. Intense.
Yeah.
I was also on the Cartridge Club talking about Perfect Dark, and that was a great
Really?
time. Yeah.
That sounds like a cool thing.
It was very fun. It was neat to have people not into Perfect Dark. It was a fun conversation to have people be like, I just played it, and didn't like it. I'm like, ooh.
I did Rap the Rapper. I was on that one for Rap the Rapper. They're just like,
Yeah.
this sucks. I'm like, oh,
Ouch, man.
You gotta believe.
But,
if you have opinions, you
gotta
gotta
believe.
stand your ground.
yeah. Because actually, it turns
great.
out to be a good podcast.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
We're introducing another new segment. Speaking of good podcast.
Are we doing are you playing a different podcast during this podcast?
No. This is this podcast.
This is the good podcast?
We're having a good podcast right now. It's another
nice.
new segment. It's called Press Release Me. Now, I'm going to read a press release from this week. If at any point any of the panelists need to back out, just say the words release me. Once 3 panelists have said release me, we will stop reading the press release.
Question.
Yes.
Do we have to say it like Brent Spiner from Independence Day?
How does he say it?
Release me.
Oh, is that
When
like
the alien
when
is
he's
making
up against
him talk?
the glass?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to say it
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
That's a bummer.
You can also say release me.
Radiohead.
Where'd you park the car? Okay,
Cut the kids in half. Cut the kids in half.
Press release me is the name of the segment. Here we go. With Super Mario cereal, Nintendo and Kellogg's have teamed up to take fans on a breakfast odyssey that will continue long after the cereal box is empty. In addition to collectible Super Mario Odyssey box art, each Super Mario cereal box functions as an amiibo accessory.
Release me!
Making breakfast a more playful experience.
I love that.
This powered-up partnership with Kellogg's is another exciting way for us to expand the Nintendo brand in unique and creative ways, says Tom Prada, Nintendo of America's Senior Vice President of Strategic Initiatives. We are always looking for new opportunities to bring smiles to people of all ages, and this is a fun way to kick off the day. The limited edition cereal box will begin hitting store shelves across the U.S. as early as December 11th. Those playing the Super Mario Odyssey game can tap the cereal box on the Nintendo Switch system, like you would an amiibo, to receive gold coins or a heart in the game. Even the cereal itself has a Super Mario twist. With colorful power-up marshmallows and a blast of mixed berry flavor in every box. We are thrilled to pack so much fun into one box of cereal, said Brad Schwann, Senior Director of Morning Foods Marketing.
All right, release me. I'm done.
The package adds value and excitement for fans, with marshmallow shapes in the cereal inspired by Super Mario power-ups to tie the theme together. That segment did not go as I planned.
Here's the deal. The voice was too good.
Yeah.
I had to keep you going.
I love press releases.
Yeah, I was also like, these guys are very jolly about this dumb cereal.
The sad thing is I read that already. I read that whole thing. I love, my favorite is, quote, the Super Mario Odyssey game.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you are playing the video game Nintendo
the
just
Super
released
Mario
entitled
Odyssey
Super
game.
Mario Odyssey.
I don't know. I lost it at Amiibo accessory.
Oh, I know,
yeah.
man.
I loved it. I wanted to hear more.
That's it. That was the end of the press
It's
release.
also not fair because I could read it along with you, so I knew
okay.
where it was going to stop.
Oh, okay. So, like, not too much longer. Okay, I'll hide it in the future.
Hide it in the
So it
future.
could potentially, let's go on for hours.
Like where you don't, I need to not know, yeah.
All right.
Prepare like five
Like
or six.
staple them together in a separate thing that's
Yeah.
just multiple
Yeah.
pages
Yeah,
long
yeah,
and
yeah.
just
Good
kind of
idea, yeah.
slowly flip to the next
Or
page.
do that classic bit from old movies. They do it in Fifth Element too, where it's like, and here we have the press releases.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a flip out of like 80 pages.
Okay.
I think you gotta
Classic bit.
gotta dig for some of those like
Bad ones.
the gaming chairs. Give me a
Yes.
press release on a gaming chair.
From like with like kind of not well written.
I mean, press release, I know it leaked. Press release for a Nintendo cereal where the box acts as an amiibo is insane.
It is insane.
That's great.
It's,
That is
it's
crazy.
a new initiative, Kyle. We're excited to try new things, and for children of all ages.
The fun will last long after you finish your cereal. It's like,
Have you felt the berry blast flavor?
Ian, thank you for not being cynical. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
up here for this. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's cute.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
Why are
I
you a bunch
like-
of cynics?
It is
I do
super. It does make my brain just explode with the concept of other things as amiibo. Like I love that. Like it would. They revealed right away that they're like, those other Toys to Life things that kind of have a format of what they do. Nah, we're just gonna this weird lamp. That's an amiibo. And so, like when we got the Yoshis, everybody fell in love with. I was like, yeah, but they're bigger. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like it'd be so bizarre down the road. They're like amiibo sneakers, amiibo hat.
Oh, yeah, man.
You just take your Switch and smack it against your forehead.
The gates are
Everything
wide
should
open
have
now.
AR, man.
Yeah.
Everything
I
should have stuff in it.
Amiibo
Put chips in
contact
everything.
lenses.
I love the image of an adult man who, just wanted some new cereal. Got the Mario Odyssey cereal because he likes Mario. Didn't think much of it. And then, like on the 5th day, he's reading the box. he's like, oh, that's it. And then he looks in the box. And he goes, holy shit!
He's gonna say, holy shit.
Reaches for his phone, calls his friend.
Jake!
Have you seen this?
This box is an amiibo, man. He's like got the cereal in his mouth.
I just got 999 moves. You're starting over, buddy.
He drives to the grocery store, like pulls him in his
all the boxes. I have to tell the people. Honey, the cereal's an amiibo.
If you are concerned about game balance, you can only do it once a day, I believe.
Also, it just gives you coins. Then the coins refresh when you leave an area. It's
Heart's
like,
clutch, though. Heart can be clutch.
Yeah.
Heart can be clutch.
Imagine if you're doing one of the intense challenges, you just drop a heart in
Doing a
suddenly.
gauntlet, you get a heart.
Yeah.
Slam your
Yeah.
giant cereal.
Spill cereal everywhere.
Okay, it is now time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Whew. I have a serious concern that I have literal ants in my pants right now.
Woo! Do you want to check?
When I was in the bathroom earlier,
Okay.
when I was done, I noticed that there were ants on the toilet,
Whoa.
and I'm concerned that I might have an ant in my pants right now.
We're getting into it.
This is real.
You're learning something about Ian. You're learning something about me.
Yeah.
Something about this garage. No one's going to stop you, Ian.
I'm not gonna check.
Yeah, we got time to check. We got
No,
time
it's
to
fine.
check.
It's fine. It's fine.
just screams in the middle of a comment. It's an ant!
It's an ant!
Confirmed!
Ants in my pants.
Dude, it's an ant! Okay, all right,
Please write in the comments if you think Ian has ants in his pants.
Right.
just burn these
At
pants
Cal
later.
Bossman. Ants in your pants.
I see the sentiment a lot. Let's do it. Let's dig into this one. We've been having too much of a good time. Let's have a serious question here.
Oh boy.
Sup, allies? Do you think we're slowly heading for a second video game crash? From the SNES days to today, the AAA industry has changed from project sizes of less than 20 people on a minimal budget to studios with more than 300 employees, development budgets in the tens and hundreds of millions, and massive marketing budgets, yet the price of games, if adjusted for inflation, has almost been cut in half. Despite AAA games being cheaper than they've ever been, the overwhelming majority of players consider them too expensive, and any form of additional monetization is met with rejection from the community, whether it is an acceptable system like Overwatch cosmetic-only loot boxes or predatory systems like in CSGO or Battlefront 2. The gaming community seems to push for cheaper and cheaper games with no additional monetization on top of the purchase price, yet seems to demand higher budget games every year. I can't help but think this is an entirely sustainable.
Unsustainable.
I can't help but think this is entirely unsustainable and will lead to dramatic change in how the industry works down the road. What would such a change look like? Is a retail price hike for AAA games unavoidable? How would the community react to $80 plus games? Are smaller budget games going to make a comeback? What do you think the results and solutions are going to be? Nick, please. Are we headed for another crash? Is that about to happen?
I don't think so. I think there were so few companies at the time that all you needed were a couple companies to drop out back in the 70s for that to happen. Or the beginning of the 80s, I think.
Oh, you mean like Activision, Atari?
Yeah, just a couple of those
Yep.
dominoes fall, and
Yep.
it's over, and you know the other people can't support that, and so I think that is what led to that. I think it's the industry is so broad at this point. There's so many things to fall back on that I don't see a full crash happening that will affect absolutely everybody. I don't think an Activision Blizzard is gonna be that in trouble for something like this. It's just a question of I'm sure companies are absolutely exploring every single financial option they have. I'm sure bumping games up to $70 or $80 has definitely been on the table in a conversation that they've had. It's just imagine being in their position, like who pulls the trigger? Who's the first person that budges and said, yeah, I'm gonna make my game more expensive than any game currently on the market.
And we talk about this frequently on the podcast because I'm always corrected for it. That's only a U.S. problem.
Yeah.
Everyone else has those prices hike up. Nobody
And
else
they're all
is
different, right?
Yeah. Nobody else is stuck at 60. Where that's a weird thing that only the U.S. is all about for some reason.
I would wonder if, as a thought experiment, let's just say that all these companies in America get together and have like these clandestine, weird, smoky meetings where they do determine the price and like fix them.
Yeah.
And I would wonder if the argument, I'm not an economist, so I don't really know, but like I wonder if somebody in the room is like, well, if we set it at 80, fewer games will be sold on the whole, and we'll all make less money because people won't buy as many games in a year. Like, I could see that being an argument. Like, you would make more money on volume selling at a slightly lower price if it's not a loss.
And many games you can spend $80 on if you want to.
Right.
That's the other way they do that.
I think that, the way capitalism is supposed to work is that if people stop buying a thing, the people making the thing should change the thing so that they try to trick people into buying it again. And if they don't, they lose. Like, that's how it works. And so I think that EA and everyone is just going to start finding better ways to trick you out of your money.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ben, do you think we're about to crash?
No, I think you see this every time there's kind of an incident that promotes the reaction that Battlefront 2 promoted. And they're just a couple of things in that question that when I think it's like, no, I don't think that's true, or he's like, any attempt at differing monetization is met with an outcry, and that's just not true. I mean, like, you look at Blizzard and their entire philosophy with games is like games as a service, and they're making hand over fist with things like Hearthstone and Overwatch. And yes, you will see people complain about those things, but the number of complaints versus the amount of people playing and engaging with those systems, it gets completely disproportionate. And, you know, look at League of Legends. There are so many like free to play or games that have additional monetization that you're not hearing about at all that are making so much money.
Yeah.
Riot
like,
has one game, and they like are the most successful game company on the planet.
It's easy, I think, to rally around the big examples, but there are so many things that you're just not thinking about. Like, game monetization has changed, is changing. I think even Nintendo changing just this year with Super Mario Run, Fire Emblem Warriors, and Animal Crossing, and having all of those do so well. I mean, that's a huge shift.
We know Ben meant Heroes, everybody. Don't make that correction.
What's that?
You said Fire Emblem Warriors.
Or Fire Emblem Heroes.
They were chomping at the
I'm
bits.
sorry.
to make that correction.
I know it's Heroes. I just
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah. Come on, give them a break,
all
everybody. Give them a
famous
break.
Warriors,
Give 'em a
Heroes,
break.
they're all the same name.
But Ben, the problem is, I guess, with those examples is we need to talk about AAA games. Is the AAA market dying?
No. What? Because, like,
League of Legends and Overwatch, are they not AAA?
That's the thing. Is like
what is the what is the evidence that the AAA market is dying?
The evidence would be studios that get shut down, I guess. Because we'd have to talk recently about Visceral getting shut down. I think that, as you say, like, when something happens big in the news, we have to react to it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Visceral getting shut down was a big blow to the single-player games, the AAA games. It did, I think, raise a lot of concerns.
I think that kind of stuff happens within giant corporations all the time, though, because it's not like EA was shut down.
Right.
It's a thing that EA owned. They just closed and moved personnel. And, you know, I mean, obviously I don't want to, like, undersell, like, clearly that was a big deal. But, like, if Activision or EA folded, then it would be like, whoa, crash. But EA shuttering one of their boutique studios is like, that sucks, but that's like an EA business decision that they made. And I don't think it's like a herald of greater doom.
Yeah, I think you can see, though, that EA publishes fewer games in a year. Activision definitely publishes fewer games than they did 10 years ago or even 5.
But that's because the monetization is changing. I mean, I think you can get away publishing fewer games if there are more ways to monetize on those games than before, where if you were only, even not that long ago, where you're just buying the game in some periodic DLC, like, the way they're charging you for games is different. So of course the number of releases that you're going to see and the number of studios, like, it's just it is changing, but I don't think that means AAA games are dying by any means.
And I mean, maybe we've already seen that shift then. Like, if they are all putting out fewer games, then it's already happened. Like, they're like, okay, $60, that means we can make money on 10 games a year instead of 20. You know?
Yeah.
It's already happened.
I can think of a genre that died off but didn't die.
What do you got,
MMOs.
Chance?
MMOs used to be announced all the time. You'd hear
kinda
about
right.
fun
I
new
hear you.
projects,
Yeah.
and you'd hear about, you know, developers would announce something like even way before being ready to actually, you know, release it. And what if he's a little Disney character? He can be your friend.
That was.
And so it's interesting now that, like, it's, you know, you've had lots of MMOs, you know, fall by the wayside. You've had lots of MMOs, like you were saying, you know, that you don't necessarily hear about a lot, but are still up and running. God, when did Lineage 2 die? Because Lineage 2 is just around like forever. There's just a lot of those games on the periphery that they were running their models really well. They scaled up to produce, you know, to spend as much money as they needed to you know, sustain their audience. But it just was, I think, was clearly an industry where they had big goals for the future, and it was just not practical to be able to support that many giant audiences. And so you had, you know, these big names, you know, Warcraft and Final Fantasy and Star Wars and stuff like that kind of settle in. Is Lord of the Rings still around?
Lord of the Rings Online?
Yeah,
I believe Lord of the Rings
still rocking?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Elder Scrolls Online is still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Still
Yeah.
going.
And so you've seen those kind of settle into like a free-to-play model, or kind of breaking up the things that you can acquire in that game. There's not necessarily one big purchase you have to make. You can kind of like slowly kind of trickle into that game and experience, content as you become more interested in it potentially. And so I think that's a good settling point, and I think that might be the worst that we'll see with the single-player genre.
Sure.
Is that, it just slows down a little bit. But one thing that I haven't seen at all on social media is a single-player developer. I've seen a lot of people frustrated because the money that they would like to see is not being spent on these games, but I don't see themselves being discouraged with their favorite art form. I don't see people that are making current single-player games being like, well, I'm done personally. Creatively, it's not rewarding for me to work on projects like this. If this is the kind of attention that they're given, they're like, I'm going to keep making these. I don't care. I believe in these types of games. These are my favorite types of games. I think they should exist. So if that sentiment started to turn, I'd be a little worried.
That'd be the people I would worry about more than the AAA is the kind of middle people. Because it's like, I do think that this does create a space for those $15 and $20 games, but I think that it's harder maybe for those people to make a lot of money and continue that. Like, who's the company who made Hellblade? Ninja Theory?
Yes.
Like stuff like that. Like, I would worry more about companies like that where they're in the middle ground of not being like two people making a sick indie game by themselves, but like a studio of 20 or 30 people. So that has actual costs.
Yeah, we talked about Ninja Theory last week. They broke even quickly. They made a ton of money off Hellblade, but they're an anomaly. There are very few who pulled off what they have.
Yes.
So yeah.
There is something that I want to say in regards to pure AAA gaming, and I think why it's so hard for me to answer this question is because the line between AAA and other things gets blurred for me. Like, it doesn't really matter to me as long as, like, good games are being released and we're seeing that in high volume. But I think if you think about, like, the biggest, highest profile games, I think what you're seeing is that there are series that have been around now for 10 years, if not more than 10 years, that were really super identified with the last generation. And I think those companies were trying to keep the tails on those series going on as long as they possibly could. And the momentum for those games has ended. And you need to make new, big, high-profile franchises. You need to invest in new... Right. Yeah, exactly.
I was just going to say, if Anthem bombs, that's... Yeah.
Right. And I think that is super, super hard. To make something that has the recognition or impact of like an Assassin's Creed or Gears of War. That doesn't just happen. In fact, you're probably going to have a lot of failures before you have a success at that level. And so I think in terms of AAA franchises, they're just trying to figure it out right now, and it will happen. You will have that thing that catches fire. I think in a way, Destiny is kind of like that for this generation, and you'll see more of that. I don't believe that we're done with that. It'll just take some time. Like building up to that level is not easy.
That is an interesting point, and I think kind of goes along with the spirit of the question too. Is like because it does feel like we're in a doldrum kind of a deal with new IPs like that,
right?
Successful new IPs, and I could see how that would translate into worry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think it's just gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
Hopefully Anthem hits and does well. If it doesn't, they'll try something else. Yeah.
But what I think is hard is I think these new series that they want to, like, I think a lot of people are trying to chase Destiny, and I think things like Battlefront 2 and even Destiny itself, they've kind of generated some skepticism about how they're monetized, and so I think there's even more of an uphill battle than there already is with establishing a new IP of like putting in this monetization in a way that makes sense and doesn't scare people immediately.
And it's hard too because a lot of these games, Destiny, I don't think could. I mean, I don't know the pricing and whatever, but $60 getting everything in Destiny would be tough because that's an expensive game to create and maintain. And so selling little cosmetic things and then selling $20 expansions every few months is a model. And that one's kind of intense because I feel like you almost, to stay up on Destiny, like if you want to continue playing Destiny, you have to buy the expansions, pretty much. And I do wonder if there's another model because, like MMOs, people don't really like paying monthly. unless you found some new way to monetize that. I wonder if there is some kind of new philosophy that's somewhere between a monthly charge and cosmetic only microtransactions that people would actually like.
But it's kind of a self-inflicted wound, right? Because like with Destiny, like you've got Anthem coming out, and it's like, well, I'm really committed to Destiny. I put in all this time. I have like all my friends are on there.
Right.
And I've got all this gear. Like, do I really want to go through the effort of doing that again? And I think that's a lot harder than if you just have a single-player game.
Right.
It's actually the same thing with me and Hearthstone, where I'm enjoying Hearthstone, and I think about getting really into Gwent, or I think about getting more into the Elder Scrolls Legends, and it's like, well, do I really want to go through all of this again? Like, I'm kind of invested in this ecosystem.
Right.
And so, like, I think that makes the pool a lot smaller, but the rewards a lot bigger for the people who can make it stick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I find actually kind of encouraging, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, is Assassin's Creed selling well this year.
Mm-hmm.
Origins,
There's a single-player game right there. It shows that a game that we all dumped on, a franchise we all dumped on, still has it. People are still interested in it if they make a good game.
Yeah.
If they're just willing to make a good game, there's no raw deal in it. You know, it's not a raw deal game. You pay your $60 and you get a full-on game.
There'll be DLC and stuff though, right?
Story DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For money.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like it's not
Right.
nasty. You know what I mean? Nobody feels cheated. They add free DLC to it. And so I think that there's still encouraging stuff out there. I'm happy for Assassin's
Oh, you know what
Creed.
encourages me?
What encourages you?
Spider-Man. Sony getting behind it, an IP that we're just so ready for a reboot with this new gen, creating their whole new design with characters, having a team that is so enthusiastic about it. It just sounds great on every front. It just sounds like, what you would hope they would handle with these other things.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man to me is the anti Star Wars visceral game.
Right.
It's the complete other end of that spectrum. It's like tons of support, tons of freedom, creative freedom to make your own characters, make this its own thing.
Yeah.
This is not going to screw up the MCU.
'Cause it's
We're
not
not going to
tying
put a
in,
ton of
right?
pressure
Right.
on you because you got to make Star Wars happen this year. It's like, oh no, just make another Spider-Man thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you, Jones.
Feels good.
Again, they have a nice cushion there.
Yeah.
We know it has to make money. We know that. But Sony has to make less money off of that game than Ubisoft has to make with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Here's a crazy. Again, I don't think this is true, but like going back to our clandestine smoky room meeting of like the weird top minds.
I'm not convinced it doesn't happen.
I mean, who knows? But like,
There's only like 6 big
what if
studios,
This is a huge conspiracy theory thing that I just thought of. But like, what if these companies say like they're going, all right, EA, it's your turn. Make the microtransactions in Battlefront so egregious, so terrible, so that we can push stuff that would normally be considered awful and people will think it's great. And then it's just a slow march toward insane, terrible microtransactions because we keep getting so pissed at this crazy thing that they sneak in things that are just not as bad, and we
2K,
love them for it.
Square Enix, Activision, they hit a circle, they just spin a cigar.
Right.
And whoever has the smoking end of the cigar is like, oh.
And then Ubisoft's like, I can't do it. We made that terrible glitchy monster last year.
The cigar.
Make EA do bad microtransactions. We did the glitches last year for Assassin's Creed. We got to do a good one.
Yeah.
Like, what if it does work like that?
It doesn't, but that's fun to believe.
It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good show idea.
Yeah.
What?
Like the order?
Just the smoky room.
The order.
You can barely even see the people
Trilateral
talking.
Commission or whatever they call it.
Let's play a game. Hi, allies. Let's play a little game called Marvelous Marketing or Atrocious Advertisement. I will present to you a system and a slogan that accompanied it. The panel must then deliberate and agree on if, in hindsight, the slogan was either a use of marvelous marketing or was it an atrocious advertisement. Super Nintendo. Play it loud.
Marvelous marketing. Do I back it up or do I just say those
I want to
words?
hear more opinions. Throw them out. What's going on, panel? Why are
If I recall, that was... Oh, when was that? That was like early 90s?
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And that felt right for the time. Because it was
Sure.
exciting. It was neon.
Yes.
It had a lot of shapes.
Yes.
And you were very there for
And
that.
it's not play it loudly.
No.
Play it loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh, that sound
Nintendo.
chip was so hot. So yeah,
Yep.
marvelous marketing.
I was there for that. Yeah.
Ben, you don't seem willing to give this marvelous marketing. What's going on?
I just don't think that in and of itself is all that exciting or creative or
Play it
interesting.
loud.
Castlevania 4.
Like you talk
play
about
loud.
it, you talk about it fitting the theme of that era, and I feel like it fits the 90s in the most basic, no effort way.
But it's not about the Super Nintendo, is what you mean.
I'm just saying, like, you put Super Mario World in front of any slogan, and like 99% of your work is done for you. Like, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's atrocious. I don't think it's atrocious advertisement. But I don't think it's
gotta
like,
pick one.
I don't think it's marvelous. So I guess I'll go atrocious.
Atrocious advertising. Okay. Nintendo 64. Get in or get out.
Atrocious advertising.
Atrocious advertising.
Atrocious advertising.
Yeah, I gotta agree with it.
That was the end of that era.
It feels othering.
Yeah.
You don't want that. It's aggressive. It doesn't fit with Nintendo's kind of jolly, inclusive vibe.
It feels like it's not confident in itself.
Yeah.
Get in or get out. Yeah. All right.
It's gross.
Bye. Nintendo DS. Touching is good.
Atrocious.
It's pretty atrocious. Yeah.
It's pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
It could have been so many things
Yeah.
that would have been okay. You could have ended that touching is in anything.
You know what that is? Touching is good as what?
Yeah.
What? I didn't say
I
it.
didn't say
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
exactly what it
You're
is.
thinking
That is
it.
exactly what it is.
It makes me uncomfortable when Nintendo tries to use
Yeah.
sex.
It's the screen.
Yeah, you're
We're
dirty.
talking
No,
about the
you're
screen.
dirty.
Yeah,
You didn't.
no, that is atrocious. Like,
Yeah, that's
slam the
atrocious.
gavel down.
Yeah,
That's
atrocious.
atrocious. We would like to play.
Marvelous.
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 Even though I totally did not understand what they were saying.
That's one
for
of the best.
years. You don't remember
That's,
that?
yeah, that is
When
like
you
an
corrected me
all-time
on that?
great.
We would like to
I
play.
thought they were saying, would you like to play?
No,
We would like to
play.
play.
That's
Right.
insane, Jones.
It's not insane to me that they knock on your door and ask you a question. That they're politely saying, "Hi, we brought a thing. Would you like that?"
That's not the intonation though.
Does a salesman come up to your door and go, "I like calendars"?
It ends with a
No,
period.
they say, "Would you like to buy something? Would
What's
you
your-
like to buy this? Would you like to
But
buy
the
some
name of the
magazines or
thing is
candy
we.
bars?"
What you're positing here is
I
Jones.
understand
is that
it
they say,
now.
Would you like to play?
I'm not saying it's the incorrect slogan. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm not stupid for thinking what I thought.
I'd have to disagree. I have to disagree. Would you like to play?
Yeah.
With a period at the end.
With the bat, like, would you like to? The question. They're like, "Oh yeah, sure."
I think it's marvelous.
It's
Oh,
marvelous.
that was one of the
It's
greatest
marvelous.
ads of
Yeah,
all time.
yeah.
yeah.
How about the sequel? How you will play next?
No.
Nintendo Wii
no.
U.
What? That
Atrocious.
that is ridiculous. Hey, what did we do last time?
What is it?
That sucks. That is. Oh my god.
They're
Bad
like,
name,
what did we do
bad
last
advertising.
time? Would you like to play?
What
It was would you like to
was
play?
it again?
How you will play next.
Although,
That's not even. That's
although
even
isn't that really
snappy.
indicative of the Wii U though?
Yes,
Doesn't
it
even
is.
make- yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah.
and then they'll buy this. Like,
It is good advertising.
lesson learned.
Oh,
Oh,
my god.
that's like below atrocious.
Yeah. Atrocious. Yeah.
Life is short. Play more.
Oh, play more.
Microsoft Xbox. That's the original.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's
That's
good.
good.
Thumbs up. Feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
It's my
you know what?
sentiment.
I don't
It's
like
not
being
like
between these-
amazing,
Yeah, I don't
but
like
it's-
being
it's
between
good.
these two extremes. but
I
think
read
it's
it
good.
wrong. It's not play more. It's like life is short. Play more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of like that actually.
I think
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
Jump in.
I-
That's the Xbox 360.
That's Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually really like that.
that's
I
good.
do.
That's
It's playful.
Good.
It's fun.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Jump
Simple.
in.
It's quick.
Jump in.
Yes,
Yeah.
keeping
Boom.
it that
It's
short,
snappy.
you
Yep.
get it.
HD.
I remember
over
it.
here.
I
Online.
remember the-
Jump
yeah.
in.
Yes.
Jump in.
Yes. I
The
think that's-
water's fine. Jump in.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
the font. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's marvelous.
It's good.
You are the controller.
That is atrocious.
That's Microsoft Connect.
That's the Connect.
Isn't that right though? Isn't that kind of?
It's a good way to sell a terrible product.
No, I think the thing with it, I think the reason why it's atrocious is like it doesn't. It's not creative enough. There's no art to it. It's like, well, what is it? I guess you're a controller. You are the controller.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
It's how you would explain it to like a grandparent or a relative
Right.
who's never played a video game. And you're like,
Right.
well, you could play this. You are the controller.
It's missing kind of like the majesty of the thing. It kind of just like you're the control. Like
It also describes the worst Kinect games in
Yeah.
which they were like, so we want to adapt like Mass Effect to Kinect? How do we do? What if you're building the weapons?
Right,
like, yeah,
right.
the best ones where you're like, I'm not a controller, I'm a human being. I'm actually like waving at people or moving objects or something.
Or just using my
Or
voice.
casting spells
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
They had a lot of potential with that one.
I'm sorry, Jones. What are the best Connect games?
Disneyland Adventures. They're all now available.
That's why you said waving at people.
No,
Because
because
it's like,
Well, no, I
you know,
said-
like the good ones where I'm waving at
for
people.
what was Molyneux's little kid? Wasn't that the thing that they waved? And they're like, everybody reaches out when he throws something to you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that interesting psychologically? You know, the actual, like, I'm interacting with the human. They can see what I'm doing and react to my movement.
Yeah. It was all a lie.
It was
all
most of
a lie.
it.
It was oh.
I like. Live in your world. Playing
Playing
ours.
ours. That's a good one.
I think that is
that's marvelous.
goddamn marvelous.
What's that for?
Yeah.
That's PlayStation 2.
PlayStation
Oh, okay.
2.
Yeah. Oh, you like
Fun.
that?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, PlayStation 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
PlayStation 2.
That thing is still the future. That thing
Yeah,
is still
dude.
futuristic.
Yeah.
man.
it's gonna come back around.
DVD.
I think that might be the best one that you've read so far.
Well, Ben, how about this? PSP. Hells yeah.
Atrocious.
No.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can be so bad that it's marvelous.
good.
No. For real?
Yeah,
Is that for
I
real?
never saw that in print.
I
I,
don't
never
think
saw
I've
that on
ever
a
seen it.
commercial.
I need to look this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I-
that.
Oh, prove a ticket? Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Prove
Okay,
it.
prove a
Yeah.
ticket.
Prove it.
PSP, hells yeah.
got my
let's
phone.
let's see if that's real.
Oh, PSP.
PSP.
Hells yeah.
Because it's a period. It's not a colon. PSP.
Oh, there's a whole commercial.
Okay.
Hells yeah.
We're watching this live. Oh, I remember the squirrels.
Yeah, I do too.
The squirrels are great. Squirrels are marvelous marketing. Oh, no. Oh,
No, this is like appropriation kind of.
oh, squirrel please is bad.
Nope. This is bad.
Nope.
Wow. There it is.
No, never mind. There's
Oh,
no redemption
that is
there. That is
atrocious.
burn it to the ground.
Oh,
Light it on fire.
baby.
You know what's so funny is when I first saw the squirrels, I'm like, oh, I liked these.
Yeah, but you didn't remember that they said things like that.
When was that? Early 2000s?
Yeah.
That feels
Yeah.
very early 2000s. Like commercials always all ended with that guy's voice going like hells yeah.
PSP.
Hells yeah.
Like that kind of like yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad we're
disinterested.
past that era.
Oh yeah.
Carl's Jr., burgers and Coke. Like, we kind of did that now. Like, what that evolved to was not the whole commercial was like that. It was like at the end.
It was at the end,
Like, you'd
yeah.
have a lot of excited people be like, I'm really excited about this product. And
Yeah.
then it would, like, smash cut to the secretary who's like, you guys are stupid. So it's like, we can have our cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
We can do something stupid, but call it stupid. Everyone wins. Like, no,
Yeah.
you just look stupid.
Hanes cut and undershirt.
Do you have a pen?
They're so
I don't.
soft.
Okay, I just need you to like cross it off.
Okay. All right. That's atrocious. It only does everything.
I remember that.
It's PlayStation 3.
No, that's bad.
No.
It's not great. Yeah, that's not.
I mean,
It
Like-
doesn't make me breakfast. It doesn't Xerox. you know,
Yeah.
my thesis.
They
It
know.
didn't have good
It
games
doesn't-
for like a
They
year and a
know.
half.
think about living your world playing ours. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're here to play
Yes.
games. It's gonna be
Boom.
awesome. Then you're like, everything, man. Like you're not special anymore.
Yeah.
You've ruined it. You've taken it. No, off.
You got to smirk at the end of that too. How do you say that and not smirk? It only does everything.
I mean, that was the
Like,
problem with the
shut up.
PS3.
So this was Kevin Butler era when they switched to only does everything. And so I
Kevin
think
Butler was marvelous.
So I associate it with his bravado. You know what I mean? Like it only does everything. It's like, well, come on, man. It's like, nah, I'm
But-
saying it.
outside of him, it doesn't really.
I get that. Yeah.
On a piece of paper and a podcast.
I think
100 years
Butler
later,
could pull off a lot of weird slogans, but it doesn't make him good.
I think we all know this one. Greatness awaits.
Sure.
It's good.
It's good.
That's PlayStation 4.
The commercials were fun. They
It's
were big
marvelous.
and crazy and
Very
lots of special
epic,
effects.
yeah.
And
It's good. Yeah, marvelous.
Last
Sure.
one. Feel true power.
That's not great.
Feel.
oh, that's the One
That's
X,
the
right?
Xbox
Power.
One X.
Yeah.
It feels very dated.
It
It
does.
Yeah, it
feels
does.
like an
I agree
early
with you. I
2000s,
agree with
late
you.
90s.
No, that could be in a 90s
yeah,
PC mag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically Play It Loud again.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah. That-
which is
that
funny because I love
my
Play It
feelings on
Loud
it.
and I don't like Feel the Power or whatever the hell it is.
Don't
Yeah.
like play it loud.
Feel true
Feel
power.
True Power.
Well, play it loud seems like a lifestyle choice.
Right.
It's like you might be playing that album loud. You might be
Right.
loud yourself.
Also,
Let's
it's like
all
a
get loud together.
rebelliousness.
Whereas Feel True Power seems like I don't know what you were doing yesterday, but that did not even come close to true power.
Girl.
You need to get up in our business
Hells
to
yeah.
understand what true power is. Yeah, I think I'm okay.
PSP. Love and respect.
Hells
Nailed
yeah.
that.
That was
Brandon
very good.
Patton.
Hells yeah is
Patton.
my
Thumb
new
blister.
tagline
Hells
at the
yeah.
end of the show.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for that one. Let's do one more. because it's GOTY season. I love this stuff. We won't have to dwell on it for too long, but this
big
is
edit.
interesting. Yeah, sorry, Ian. This is like an observation I didn't make about what the GOTYs are looking like this year. Samuel Cardwell writes in,
Oh, hey.
"What ho, allies?" I was thinking,
This one.
Hells yeah.
as
Hells
one
yeah.
does, about this year's GOTY contenders when I noticed something odd. Very few of the obvious contenders are on PC. Zelda and Mario are Switch exclusives. Persona 5, Horizon, and Yakuza are PS4 exclusive. We PC folks have still got some good stuff. Divinity, Edith Finch, Night in the Woods, Prey, Resident Evil 7, Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein 2, and, of course, PUBG. But it does feel like console exclusives have had a bumper year. For what it's worth, Night in the Woods was my favorite game of the year. Great pick. Do you think there's any reason or pattern behind this? Will next year see the PC strike back? Does developing for just one platform give a game an edge? All 5 Game Awards nominees are platform exclusive, as is Divinity, which I nominate over PUBG. So I didn't realize that each of the 5 nominees in the Game Awards for Game of the Year are exclusives to some platforms. That not any of the games in that Game of the Year group, even if you expand it and allow Divinity in, if you allow Nier Automata in, we're still having the same observation that these games are at least not on the Xbox. I guess is what exclusively not on Xbox. It's that exclusively not on Xbox. So we're there. So I wonder if does it give a game an advantage? Because I got a theory. And we're going back to what John said about Spider-Man. Games have more cushion to be good if they have some money from exclusivity.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Sony and
makes
Microsoft are
sense.
paying.
Yeah.
Right.
And Nintendo is making them themselves.
If you're going to make something that you can only get on your platform to drive sales, why wouldn't you throw all of the support, all of the effort, all of the marketing behind that?
Yeah.
Because you need system sellers. PC, like my thing with PC has always kind of just been like, you'll get really great versions of everything that are that aren't exclusive. You'll get the best version of that because you can have the best graphics and everything. You'll get really high quality stuff, a whole bunch of indies. You're basically always pretty great all the time.
Yeah.
But there isn't that pressure to sell a box because you built that box yourself. Whereas, yeah, you got to sell a PS4 or a Switch.
Yeah, and I mean, like Divinity 2 is PC exclusive. I would say
For now, it's coming to console, isn't it?
right by nature.
Right.
I would say like just that team could only make the PC version right now. That's kind of the budget they have, and that's what they put out. And so that's a really interesting exclusive to me as well. In that just like PC was the right platform for that game. And it is interesting to see it in GOTY conversations. It is I think up there, and deservedly so. Will next year be like the same? Will we only see smaller PC games? I know it's not fair to call PUBG a smaller game, but it's a smaller budget game, I guess. Do we expect that to continue in terms of Game Awards representation?
Strictly the Game Awards or all?
Sorry,
GOTY conversations?
GOTY representation, yeah.
Well, you think about how this stuff is presented to us, and it's not a coincidence, right? Like, we have to accept that a lot of our perception of this industry is based on how it's structured. And you think about something like E3. PC games have a strong presence at E3, and there is a PC show, but it doesn't really have a central voice. Like, Sony is associated with the PlayStation. They have this big conference. It's this easily identifiable brand. Same thing with Microsoft, same thing with Nintendo. We're being told through a very tight tunnel, this is exciting, this is what you need to look forward to. The tunnel for PC is a lot bigger. It's a lot wider. It's coming from all different directions.
Yeah.
And I think absolutely when you are making an awards show, the build up from that year is going to be reflected at the end of the year based on how that's presented. It doesn't mean that PC is doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean that like they should adopt a different philosophy. It's just I think that that's the way it is. Like in a lot of ways, I think end of the year award shows are kind of like part 2s of E3 in a way. Like I think you can make that argument.
Sure. Jones, you're smiling at that.
The Act 3, I like that. Yeah. I don't have a lot of interesting things to say. I actually, I don't think it's a coincidence, but I don't want to read too much into that. The one thing that did jump into my mind is that the 3 to 4 year mark of any console gen is always just kick ass. Like it's always like we finally hit, that
Right.
like Uncharted 2, Mass Effect 2, Red Dead Redemption, like, and I think we're just in that year right now, and PC's just the same thing every
Doesn't have
year.
those cycles.
I mean, obviously it has
Always
ups and
did,
downs,
yeah.
but does not have the same tracks of momentum that the console sales do.
Let's do an exercise then, real quick. Ian, I feel pretty confident about locking in 4 out of 5 Game of the Year nominees right now for 2019.
Easy Allies?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sorry, for 2018. For 2018.
Oh,
For the end of 2018.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the end of
okay.
2018.
Oh,
Ready?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's going to be there. God of War is going to be there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Red Dead Redemption is going to be there.
Of course.
Nintendo's game is going to be there. Not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. We'll have a Nintendo entry there. I think you could lock those in now. Right?
Spider-Man could...
Spider-Man,
Something could happen.
I could see it being like an 8.
Something weird could happen with Spider-Man's worlds. There could be, I don't know.
God of
I don't
War,
know.
likewise.
God
I
of
could
War,
see
yeah.
it
God of War is
being
not any
like
less
8 or
likely.
9.
God of War is a lot.
But that's the thing.
one I feel
That's
most
the thing
confident
about PC is PUBG wasn't a thing until it was.
Yes.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And that's
it's
what I
just
feel
a
like.
different. It's a totally different system.
But this is what Cardwell's talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, Samuel. I should call you Sam or Samuel. This is what you're talking about is basically the budget is an advantage. The console exclusivity is an advantage. And I really think that even if it's not our GOTYs, those will be GOTY locks. You can almost... GOTY locks and 3 Bears? Is that something? GOTY locks?
GOTY locks.
But I think they're locked because they have that budget. Because it's rare for a game like PUBG to come from nowhere to the huge success it is now. But I think it's like it'd be foolish to say those games won't show up again.
Here's the
because
thing,
they're
like
they're
console, like we've said, console games are like big tentpole blockbuster things, but PC games like PUBG, like Hearthstone, like Overwatch can become these phenomena
yes.
that like become an entity on their own and get huge by that. Like we gave Hearthstone Game of the Year one year.
Yeah, and if you look at, I mean, we didn't give it Game of the Year, but a lot of places gave Overwatch Game of the Year, which, yes, I understand also came out on consoles, but still, in a lot of ways, a very PC-focused game. And I think it's easy to do that. I think it's easy to look at something and jump on that trend, but I think even the fact that Divinity is getting an RPG of the Year nomination at the Game Awards, this Kickstarter game, like, I think that's a huge deal. I don't think it's written in stone. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next year we were fighting for Pillars of Eternity 2 in our Game of the Year nominations. Like, I don't think, while there might be a focus on consoles, I do think that if a PC game is truly incredible, I honestly believe it'll get the recognition it deserves.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I think it has a harder struggle. I think it has a harder way up.
I mean, I think there are more consoles than there are hardcore PC gaming PCs in the world.
I also think
this gets complicated. This is
I don't know, but like
when you look compared to like all the people are playing League and CS:GO.
I think that more has to do more with genre than it does with than it does with platform. Like, take something like, I'm not saying that this necessarily deserved it, but take a look at something like Civilization 6. I think it has less to do with that it was a PC exclusive and more that it was a turn-based strategy game than anything else when it comes to award season. And I think you have that a lot with PC, where you have these genres on PC that aren't really being served on consoles, and because of the genre that they're choosing to push in, it's not getting as much recognition, not just in something like the Game Awards, but all around. Like why is like a racing game almost never Game of the Year?
Yes.
Almost
It's a
never.
genre thing. It's a genre thing.
I think it's a genre thing.
Well, and
Yes.
because PC historically has been more niche, like because you have kinds of games that just work on PC better than on console, and due to their nature, because consoles are less expensive, you're trying to sell them to as many people as possible. You want your system sellers to have mass appeal, to be widely acceptable. Whereas PC games, the great ones, like Divinity 2, it's awesome. Not a mainstream game.
Right.
Like,
Not
is Divinity,
all the Zelda people aren't playing Divinity 2.
Yeah.
Is Divinity not a Game of the Year nomination because it's on PC or because it's like a classic
Divinity 2,
style
right.
computer role-playing game?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's that.
I think it's the second one.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's like greatest common denominator gets more attention, gets more awards.
Right.
Like, something could be the greatest thing in the universe, and if only 6 people have played it.
That's true. That's a fair point too. I want to finish with I think it is getting better. I think I'm feeling good about locking in GOTY nominees right now, but I think it's still better than it used to be, in which you could look at it like, oh, that game will get nominated for sure. There's nothing you can do about it. Where like, I don't know, like Destiny 2, I don't think will win a lot of GOTYs this year.
Yeah, I don't think it
Yeah,
will
I don't
either.
think so either.
You know, and I think like a lot of other years, you could have said a game like Destiny 2 is an easy lock.
I feel like whatever we choose for Game of the Year, it's gonna be wrong. Like
This year?
yeah, I honestly believe that. Like
I
it's
think
just it's too
well,
hard
it's
to pick one.
if
I mean,
game.
it's
one
not a
of two
right
or
answer
three
kind of thing.
choices.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know. I guess a better way to say that, a more accurate way to describe my feelings is no matter what we pick, I will feel an immense sense of guilt. Not that it was wrong, but just like things are deserving in equal measure.
How about we just
Lock in
give
the
it to
guilt.
both Mario and Zelda and call it a
That'd be the weakest. Oh, I would hate us.
I would hate it. I would hate us. I would hate
Yeah,
us.
that'd be
Please, nobody do that. Oh, I'd hate anyone
It's
who
a
does that.
tie.
Yeah. It's been a great year for Nintendo. Oh.
Yeah. All
Game
those
of the year
comments
is
would be
the
justified.
Switch.
Yeah.
Game of the year is the
No,
Switch.
don't do that.
When you also include Mario Kart 8, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
Jones, you had something.
Oh no, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Great.
yeah. I'll wrap
That was done. That was a great bit then.
And you've also
I
got,
had something and it's gone.
Great.
You've also got quirky titles like Splatoon and ARMS.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Shovel Knight.
Don't
In
do
its
that.
full package.
Don't write that article.
You can play it on the go.
Yeah, all right. That's good.
Hells yeah.
I know Game of the Years don't matter. I love talking about them. I
Yeah,
love talking
they
about
matter.
GOTYs. Yeah, they don't.
They matter. They're huge marketing pieces.
I think that's
They're
how this
big
business
for us.
operates, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That
clickable.
at the end of the year, we must choose a winner.
It's clickable.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you care a lot.
Yeah.
Nothing
But
matters.
it doesn't matter.
It's
insane.
clickable.
It's great. It's clickable.
It's
Look.
sticky.
It's clickable. Speaking of sticky, we gotta end the podcast with our new segment, Or Wars. Now, a couple of things I gotta set up straight. Or Wars is simply the temporary replacement for bets.
Right. Because the red whatever's won.
The
and
Red
we can't
Eagles.
fix it.
The red whatever's
The
caca.
red whatever's.
The Red Eagles have
Whoa.
cuckoo.
the Red Eagles had such a point advantage over the Purple Platypi that the Purple Platypi cannot possibly catch up. And so I've been trying to replace it. We started with Or Wars last week, which I think was a segment that had a lot of potential. Do y'all know Nadia H. Young?
LA Times, yeah.
Yeah, LA Times. Harsh but fair.
Yeah.
She trashed on Or Wars.
Eviscerated it.
Yeah, eviscerated it. Just said it needs to be snappier. So I want to try a snappy version of Or Wars this week. She also really didn't like the intro. She said it was derivative. Sorry, hold on.
Or Wars or of the whole.
Of Or Wars, the intro of Or Wars.
If you don't know Nadia, she does podcast reviews for the LA Times.
Yeah, performance of the segment title was derivative of the already pointless rank the significance.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
so,
like rank the significance.
Right. But just the performance of the segment title was like basically the same.
Oh.
And so I'm really trying to try to like put something into the intro for Or Wars.
Okay.
Here we go. And now it's time for Or Wars. Now, Or Wars is a segment in which each of the panelists must choose between this or that, blank or blank. And we got to be snappy, so Nadia's happy. Ready?
Right.
Ian, you'll go first on this one. Ben, you'll go first on the second one. Jones, you'll go third on the last.
So wait, question.
Yes.
Does someone win this?
Someone wins this.
Yeah.
Who? Okay.
The best opinions win.
Oh.
Yep.
Not clear on what I'm meant to do.
You got to pick one. Give me your opinion why.
And back it up.
Yep.
But snappily.
Yes.
Okay.
Back it up, snappy. Back it up, snappy. Mega Man 3 or Mega Man X3?
Mega Man X3 because it sounds like they went crazy places with the story.
Okay.
I don't know anything about either of those
Yeah,
games.
that was apparent. Ben.
Why'd you give me that one?
Well, you all got three. All got three. All right. So Ben, Mega Man 3 or Mega Man X3?
Mega Man
Oh.
3, I haven't played X3, and I really like Mega Man 3.
Mega Man 3, it's a classic. Classic.
No, I'm gonna make you
It's
go
more
again
classic.
because
Bigger
it's
classic.
a classic is my least favorite defense for anything. Movies, books, video games. You're sticking by it.
It's more classic.
Things are
Oh,
classic.
it's more classic.
Knowing how little I know about both games, I'm going to go with the older one.
You got to see it, dude. It's a classic. Oh, when people say that for a movie, man, I'm like, no, I'm never gonna see it. I'm never gonna see your classic, and I'll be just as culturally relevant as you are. What?
Can I change it?
Yeah.
Mega Man 3 because it introduced the slide.
Yes.
Oh.
Correct. Points. Ben.
Damn it.
Loot boxes or digital card packs?
Digital card packs. Because with loot boxes, they can turn that into anything. They can make that disgusting to fit any mold. With card packs, it's a card game. So you know what you're getting into.
Brandon Jones, loot boxes or digital card packs?
Digital card packs, because it reminds me of opening
I guess that's
Dodger
not
cards
true.
as a kid. Classic.
Ian Hick.
I would say digital card packs as well because they have more utility. They're usable more frequently than loot boxes.
Okay.
I spoke incorrectly. I guess you could have digital card
Ooh, you
packs.
should not do that in Or Wars.
Doubling back.
Yeah, yeah.
on
You know
what? I don't-
2 in a row
I
now.
don't give. I don't
He's
give
double
a
back
damn
twice.
about Nadia.
Yeah, that's true. He's double back twice.
Whoa.
I have. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Gotta say my piece, man. Or Wars.
Brandon Jones.
Woo!
I'm ready.
Ready? Lanky Kong or Bubsy?
Oh god.
Bubsy. Actually played a lot of Bubsy back in the day on the Super Nintendo. Non-ironically, didn't find anything wrong with it. Love that game.
Ian Hick. Lanky
Lanky-
Kong or Bubsy?
Lanky Kong because I think that's the answer you're looking for.
Ben Moore. Lanky Kong or Bubsy?
Lanky Kong because the sections that you play as Lanky Kong are better than any Bubsy game in any capacity. In
Wow.
Donkey Kong 64. Hot
Okay, let
take.
me tabulate this. This is hard. This is legitimately hard. Ben, you shouldn't have gone back on the second one. Brandon Jones wins.
Oh!
Despite it's a classic, my least favorite argument, you won somehow.
I don't believe you. I don't think that was a genuine evaluation.
That was it. I
it.
did the math.
No,
I did the
you
math.
didn't.
I did the math.
What's the math?
You did.
No, what's the math? What's the math?
Why do people?
This is why
math.
LA Times doesn't like Or Wars.
Yeah.
You can see right through it.
It's I can tell you Nadia's review next week. Arbitrary.
Well,
The scoring is arbitrary.
What's arbitrary is saying I picked this one because that's the one I think you want. That's an automatic DQ.
Yeah,
I didn't
because
do
I
that.
don't know either.
I
don't
didn't
know
do
anything
that.
about either of those things.
So you
didn't
make
do
something
that.
up. So you make something up.
Make it up. He's tall. He's
Yeah.
lanky.
And Ben, you nailed it with the slide on Mega Man 3. You had a huge
that was his
advantage.
run back.
However, going back on a thing and apologizing, that's a cardinal sin in Or Wars. Even
You know
worse
what?
than
You
saying
know
it's
what?
a classic.
You know what? It's fine. We'll take it as a learning experience. Can't wait to come back to Or Wars. All right, Nadia,
It's a good segment.
prep it.
It makes sense. It's a good segment. We have.
I'm coming back. No doubling back next time.
This has
And I won't
been
try to play to you.
Or Wars.
I like it. It's unexpected.
That's the end of the show. Let's promote our Patreon. Let's promote patreon.com/Easy Allies because that is how the Easy Allies exists. That is what the Easy Allies is. So often, I get comments on how we are a bad YouTube channel. You're right. We're a
not
bad
trying.
YouTube channel. We're a Patreon. We're
our Patreon.
That is our business. We are. Yeah, obviously, we could do better on YouTube. That's right. We deserve those comments. But
YouTube doesn't make you money anymore. Adpocalypse.
Adpocalypse. Yeah. Hashtag Adpocalypse.
No reason to try there.
But so that's what we're committed to, and that's what we give our attention to, making good. We foster a community on patreon.com/Easy Allies. So check that out. See how we can support you. See how you can support us. And that is how people see this podcast early and receive this podcast early in their own RSS feeds. People who are $5 and up a month patrons get this podcast on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays. And they also can submit to Love and Respect. That is where I get those submissions from. That's all I got to say about that. Brandon Jones, I don't even... How did you win Or Wars with It's a Classic? It makes me so mad.
I think it's BS.
It is.
BS.
Oh, we gotta go through goals first. Ian, how'd you do on your goal this week of introducing a character from a book series? I assume.
It's a book series. Brandon
Okay.
Sanderson, The Stormlight Archives. Oathbringer just came out. I'm listening to the audiobook. I'm a few hours into it, so I don't know what happens the rest of the book. Don't spoil it for me.
Okay, don't do that.
But yeah, I referenced a character from that series.
What if that character turns out to be somebody who just plainly makes sense every time?
In as an analogy?
Right, because no, you said this character changes depending on
Yeah.
time. What is this character?
That's already been true in the This is the third book.
Okay.
And the books are like 50 hours long a piece. They're giant.
I've never heard someone call a book by hours.
I listen to audiobooks for everything.
We do it for video games. Why not? Books 50 hours long.
The first two Stormlight Archives books were, I think, literally 45 hours.
That's too long.
A piece.
That's too long.
Yeah, it's insanity.
Then how'd you do your goal of telling us 2 lies and a truth?
That wasn't 2 lies and a truth.
Well, like you got 3 stories, and you're going to tell one true story and then try to hide the other.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I feel like every time I'm on this podcast, I actively try with my goal. Didn't even try this time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Didn't even try.
Fair.
Didn't even try.
I've been there many times. Brandon Jones?
I give myself a B+ effort on podcast halftime, but unfortunately did not.
Just because of Jigarbov?
Did not nail it. Yeah, Jigarbov.
That's the only problem?
Well, that's why. I mean, I saw it was a challenge ahead of me, and I wanted to face it head on.
Okay.
You're a harsh
And I
grader.
stumbled and I fell.
Oh,
but
so when you
I got back
said
up.
I want to do well, I want to nail it, you
Yeah.
were thinking of that comment in particular. You're
And
thinking
just the other ones, just new language live for the first time.
I gotta say, you nailed the other ones. Nailed the
Everything
delivery.
else was great.
You had us cracking up.
Yeah.
That means a lot, you guys.
Yeah.
B+ seems right.
You mentioned
I'll take it.
What? B+ is good.
you mentioned a bunch of podcasts that sound like they're good podcasts to listen to.
They
You know what I mean?
do.
You advertised well. That was nice, Jones.
Yeah.
And you know, like it's, I want people not to skip podcast halftime. I think you're giving them a good reason not to.
Thank you.
You are actively improving this
Comment
podcast.
otherwise if that's the case. Let us know. You're an easy guys.
Cool. I nailed my podcast. I nailed the intro to Aura Wars.
Was that your goal?
Yeah, that was my goal, to nail that intro.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. And that's it. So, Brandon Jones, because you won Aura Wars, you get the right responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. Mm-hmm. You get to have the last word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just thought of right now. Yeah. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote, or perhaps event. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off.
You can follow me at Trailer Jones. I don't think there's anything wrong with my misinterpretation of those Wii commercials. I'm a human being like anybody else. Sometimes we hear things differently. Sometimes you hear something and you think it's one thing, and then it's just deeply ingrained in your brain. And even though it's being constantly reintroduced to you as something else, you've already kind of decided what it is. And it really takes, a profound friendship, my relationship with these allies to really educate me, and I'm grateful for that. So I thank you, Kyle, for making me a better person. I encourage you to watch lots of crazy stuff happening this weekend, but the Game Awards are going to be rad because we are going to be doing reactions to that. We're going to be seeing the outcome of the challenge that Ian and I are facing off against each other for the betting special, and Mr. Kyle Bossman has been working on it very hard. And so I am excited to see what you put together, and excited to see Keely's 4th Game Awards. Is it 4th?
This is the 4th one,
wow. So it's nice to have that new tradition.
I do want to say you'll see very little of what I've. Basically, I'm writing alternates and things like that.
Sure.
Like I don't want to be like, this is my version of the Game Awards. I
No.
don't want people to think like, oh, Kyle's gonna be all over it. It's like, no.
One person's not responsible for anything in that show. There's many people that you will not see, that you will not hear of. The credits will go by real quick at the end.
Yeah.
Lots of people working on that, but Kyle is one of them. So
yeah.
Congrats, Kyle.
Oh, thanks.
And thanks for watching, everybody. Hells yeah. I am enjoying these microtransactions.